Of course, no news report about South Korean education would be complete these days without an average South Korean schoolboy or girl to help us illustrate the issues. So, meet Hei-chan, 10 years old and blinking his way into yet another tough day. School children here get, on average, 1 whole hour's sleep less every night than their American counterparts. And here's another statistic to chew on. Every day, South Korean children study for almost 3 hours more than those in the US. Breakfast here is food for thought, quite literally. The harder you work and the earlier you begin, Hei-chan tells me, the better university you get into. And a better university means a better job. South Korea is a country obsessed with education, a place where families jostle and compete for every opportunity for their children. Perhaps it's because of the Confucian ideal under which knowledge is a passport to status and wealth. But whatever the reason, this country's lust for learning has caught the eye of one rather influential individual. During his visit to Seoul last November, President Obama says he asked his South Korean counterpart to name this country's biggest educational challenge. Not crumbling schools or meagre budgets came the reply, but parents who are too demanding. For Hei-chan, today's first lesson is geometry. In measurements of school-level mathematics ability, South Korea sits near the top of the table. That too has impressed President Obama, who has been publicly praising the extended school timetable and the results it produces. But is South Korea really such a good role model? Hei-chan has just a few private lessons a week. Many school children, though, face an after-school routine that drags on for class after class, sometimes until midnight. Even the South Korean government, which welcomes President Obama's warm words, is a little taken aback.
Why I was so surprised upon hearing his comment was that we always thought we had some problem in our education system, and we have to take care of our problem before it becomes really big troubles for us.
In fact, the government now appears to believe that South Korea's problem is too much education. This country's late-night private cram schools are robbing children of their childhood, the theory goes, and with an over-reliance on rote learning, pupils are being turned into little more than exam-passing machines.
And this competition requires a lot of memory, a lot of works, Not imagination or not creative mind, but memory. You have to memorize thousand different things before getting into the entrance exam. So we'd like to change that kind of education system.
Meanwhile, South Korean families are voting with their feet. Every year, thousands send their children overseas in search of a better education. At this combined emigration and education fair, I met the Kim family, thinking about leaving Korea for the sake of their children. Korean education is one-dimensional, Mr. Kim tells me. Foreign schools are far more creative and open-minded. So, back to our average boy. Hei-chan's family can't afford to escape or pay for the best private tuition. To compete, he has a tough fight ahead of him. There is much to be admired in this system, the discipline and the appetite for learning. But some would say that South Korea also offers a warning that you can have too much of a good thing. John Sudworth, BBC News, Seoul.